guys.
Hi, Rachel.
Hopefully that's on the right microphone.
It sounds like you are.
Yeah, it's my boost. Oh,
Thanks,
I beat
Grayson.
you. I know. Here I go pinching the baby again.
Hey, we're live, everybody. How you doing? I'll get the ugly. I'll get everything together here. I'm getting everything together here, so you have to pardon the mess while I get stuff in the correct order. 5. Go 5. Cool. Brr. Okay. Now to you guys are just gonna get regular ass. Preg show.
No, there's no preg. Preg is done.
There should be an image you can just pop up.
Yeah, well, probably is.
That I made for you.
For whatever reason, it's not showing up, so I'm just gonna throw that up there for right now. I'll fix that, and I'll fix that later. Brr. There you go. You guys.
There is a Mario box on your wall. That is awesome.
The whole room is themed. It's just those stickers, like you can buy them on ThinkGeek. They're just these big stickers you put on the wall, but it's just fun, right?
Yeah.
That might have to happen in my son's little nursery area.
Nice. Then we had water damage in the room, and so when I repainted it, I specifically repainted it so that the colors of the walls were this like green from the game, kind of the background colors and so on. Yeah.
Hey, cool. Might as well.
Yeah.
Had to do it anyways, so.
Yeah. That's the thing with like water damage and stuff like that. You have to fix it anyway, so why not use it as an excuse to make some improvements?
Exactly.
Boo.
CJ.
Yes, dear.
I should come lick your forehead.
Oh, whatever.
Grayson, should we go lick Daddy's forehead?
Why are we licking foreheads?
That sounds like
that's all I see on the camera.
Because I'm showing it, and she's like, it's CJ's forehead.
They exist.
It's a long running joke though that I used to when I was on my laptop. I used to just be fully 100% like this the entire time because I had to look down at my laptop. All you'd see
is forehead.
So yeah, I'd be like this like for 2 hours because I had to look down at my laptop. So it's a God, that's now almost a damn near 5-year-old. No, Jesus, almost 7-year-old joke now.
I was gonna say
it's about as old as Dale being 12.
Is Uncle Dale 12? Say no, he's clearly 13 now.
I don't know about that.
It's okay. I said he's clearly 13, and Grayson goes, just sighs. He got to go to work with Mommy today.
He was a good little supervisor.
Where's work?
I'm a teacher. We were breaking down my classroom today. Granted, I'm still on maternity leave. But I'm like, I'm coming back to this classroom next year. I want to know at least where some of my shit is.
Yeah.
And I found out I will have, if they weren't putting, because I teach special education. So if they weren't putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of my kids out in Gen Ed next year as a trial, I would have 16 kids in my classroom.
Oh, jeez.
And that's just the 4th and 5th graders. That's not including the 3rd graders I was supposed to have.
Yeah.
If I had the 3rd graders, that would add on another 8. So, no. Yeah, I teach the ones that like to throw very large things like desks and such across rooms.
Wow.
I'm very glad that my legal limit was 10. 10 was enough.
Technically my legal limit is 11.
But you have an aide in the classroom, don't you?
Yep, but I'm not supposed to go over 12 because most of my kids have in groups of no more than 6, which with 2 people in the classroom means that there's a maximum of 12 people in that room. Most of my kids have groups of 3 to 5.
Yeah. Yay, being over ratio.
Yeah, and we're doing a partial inclusion model, which is why so many of my kids are going out to Gen Ed next year. 3 of them were part-time Gen Ed this year. They're going to full-time Gen Ed first day of school next year. 2 of them have been full-time Gen Ed. One of them might be getting pulled back because she was deciding to be Momo.
Whoa.
So that was a gem.
Hey, Carrie.
Yeah.
This is a dumb question that I should know the answer for. But how does one make a nameplate?
You open up Photoshop and you type the name and Twitter handle into it.
Welp.
And then you save a transparent ping that's cropped to the right dimensions.
Welp. That's not happening right now. Mainly because I don't have Photoshop.
Yeah, no, I typed and sized all of those specifically to match to be sized properly for the overlay.
I'll have to load one into GIMP later and see if I can reverse
Can you give
engineer
another
my way through it.
earth-shattering belch like you did yesterday and scare the shit out of your father?
Also, I need the font. What's the name of the font that we used?
I used Super Heterodyne.
Yata. Download.
You seriously not have Photoshop on there, CJ?
No, because I don't have Photoshop. I have GIMP. Because every time I get Photoshop, I end up having to get rid of it because it's expensive, and they no longer do the.
I am going to hang on to this copy of Photoshop Creative Suite 4 until the day I die because of Creative Cloud.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore, so I can't really do anything with it, sadly.
That bubble? I see your grin.
I don't care that it's like fucking 12-year-old software. It does everything I need it to do.
It works. The only thing is if you were trying to do anything like massive with it, but you're not. So, because I know there's some stuff that's been added relatively recently in Photoshop, but you're not doing any of that. So,
Yeah, like if I ever need to do that and it's actually part of my job, then I would consider it. But for putting text on a transparent background, I don't need to spend several $100s a year.
yeah. I'm thinking about it because I use it for, I would use it for everything, but I don't have.
Grayson, where are you? Hi, what are you doing?
I don't have the money for that yet. Patreon.com/Geek IO. All right. Now, the question is if I'm going to have to reload freaking slobs to get that text to show up.
Where are you, kid?
Or that font
Where
to
are
show
you trying
up.
to go?
Please don't make me reload this, because I'm not going to.
Okay. When
Hey
your tummy
Jason,
gets
what's
angry
do
with
you have a Twitter handle or anything that you want to share out?
Do I have what's that?
Do you have a Twitter handle or anything you want to share out?
Phase Shift Games.
Phase Shift Games. Cool.
Same on everywhere else. Instagram, Facebook. It's all just Phase Shift Games, all one word.
Word.
It's convenient when you use a name that other people don't take. And you
Yeah.
have to mix it up on different platforms and.
Yeah, that's why Geek IO Show everywhere. Oh, balls, it didn't load in. Son of a bitch. Fine, you're going to get a different font, Jason. You're going to get Aladdin font. Perfect. Prince Jason, glorious him.
Do, 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 do. That's still my favorite Disney movie. It shouldn't be, but it is.
Aladdin.
Yes. Speaking
So
of
have you
Aladdin,
seen the new?
CJ,
Yes, we're going to talk about that.
did you see that
Not
Will
spoilery.
Smith was walking one of the red carpets somewhere? 2 little girls were like, "Why are you not blue?"
Oh.
And his response, oh my God, this is such a perfect response. And I have mad love for Will Smith, have for years. He's like, well, I can't walk around looking like a genie because then I can get into places easier. So the girls go, okay, you know, that's believable. Where are your friends? He goes, where are Jasmine and Aladdin? Well, they're up there. Would you like to go meet them? And he takes them, with parents' permission, of course, over to
Because a parent is going to tell them
actress.
no.
Well, mom was actually the one video recording it, one of the 2 moms. And they walked over and he introduced them to Aladdin and Jasmine. Like personally from the genie.
Wow.
I was like,
That's
oh my
fantastic.
God, I want to meet Will Smith so bad.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about the new Aladdin here on the first half of the show.
Hear good things about it.
It is really good. It is really, really, really good.
And on the bright side, you can't really spoil it because it's been
Aladdin.
out since when?
It's Aladdin.
92?
It's
97,
always gonna
I forget
be Aladdin.
which.
But maybe they're gonna do different things in the live action version.
Yeah, there's
They've
a couple
tweaked a
added
couple
things,
things,
but
but nothing
But then it
that
wouldn't be nostalgia pandering.
took it away.
I mean, they removed because you can't have Will Smith say he's got slaves, he's got servants, he's got flunkies. So they changed that song a little bit because, you know, can't have Will Smith be singing that.
I forgot that was a line.
That is in Prince Ali. That is a line.
But they're proud to work for him.
Yeah, but you still can't have Will Smith, of all people, say that. All right,
But
cool.
you can have Will Smith cross-dress, and that was amazing.
Oh, that was good stuff. Oh, man. Boop, 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 boop. All right, cool.
Yeah, I was talking to Monica about it when she was down, and I mentioned like, yeah, why do they even have to CG him blue? Just have him be Will Smith. He's awesome. And Monica was like, because then you have a black man playing a slave in a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, oh, right.
That makes
Maybe
sense.
let's not.
That makes sense.
Sounds like not the thing to do.
That and they were really trying to pay homage to how they did it with Robin Williams, and though he is definitely no Robin Williams for obvious reasons, the way he tackled the role was very well done, very tastefully done, and the little tweaks that he made it that are unique to Will Smith as an actor and as a person play off of things that Robin Williams did when he did the voiceovers for it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I'm going to do some sound tests here really quick.
You are listening to a...
Hey you. If you're listening...
Oh, birthday!
No.
But it was Lum's
Oh, birthday!
over the week. She now meets her terms of service.
Look at that little milk drunk face. Mm.
Hey, everybody, do me a favor. Say things at the same time. Go.
Blah,
Go,
blah,
go,
blah,
go.
blah, blah, blah.
Go.
Milk
Perfect.
drunk babies are the best.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Some people want precision in their sound tests. I say fuck that mess. I want waveforms. Okay. Think I'm going to do a quick...
Milk drunk babies.
Cool. And this chat works as well.
What's that new chat link about? Do I need that one?
No, that was just me throwing something out I found entertaining.
Oh.
I do that occasionally.
Yeah. Just don't trust Rachel's links because they're usually perverted.
Got it.
Oh, I haven't done that in months.
And at least like 2 shows.
Well, considering this is only the second show I've been on since just
Exactly.
before Grayson was born.
All right. So we are going to then do the thing in 3, 2.
You are listening to a podcast of the Geek IO Media Network. For all of our shows and more, visit geek-io.net. And to help support the network, head over to patreon.com/geekio.
Hello, gentle listener. While Geek IO holds its talent to the highest standards, what follows will likely involve the sort of language usually reserved for sailors on leave. If you're of a delicate disposition, then perhaps you would consider a different podcast.
Geeking out across the globe. Hold on to your butts. It's the Geek IO Show.
The Geek IO Show.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Geek IO, your podcaster playground, episode number 296. Holy crap.
296. That's almost 300.
It is almost 300. It's like 4 away from 300. You guys should check back in 4 weeks. We might be doing something. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know.
Potentially. Theoretically. Schrodinger show.
Exactly.
Schrodinger.
Schrodinger. Which is why I can't go to Iowa anymore.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Hi, I'm CJ.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I don't have my notes up. What else is new?
Not much.
Oh, snap.
I'm Carrie. I had chicken soup.
For the soul.
Yes, and also my upset stomach.
That too.
And I'm Josh, master of shelvery.
And joining us this week, we have the man, the myth, the legend behind the mighty Dungeon Drop and the upcoming game that I'm really particularly fond of wanting to play, Queen's Quest. He's back. I'm never going to let you, and if you don't let me playtest that game, I'm going to be really upset.
I look forward to it.
That man right there is, of course, Jason Micelli from Phase Shift Games.
Hello, and I have a beer for my upset stomach.
Yay. Gotta get your beer on. You gotta get your bread. That helps upset stomachs. Is bread.
Yeah, exactly. Yeasty products. Fantastic.
That's
It's
how
the brat diet: beer, rice, applesauce, toast.
Exactly.
Guys, who let check on the Geek IO Show?
Hey, listen, it's proven. It works.
Oh my goodness. How are you, Dan? How are you, Scott? Wow. I looked at Scott and said, Scott, Jason. I'm gonna erase Scott's name from here so I don't keep doing that.
That's okay. You know, Scott is the man of the hour as well. It's his game that we're launching soon. But I've been great. Saw you last year, not too long ago at was it PAX Unplugged, I think.
Yep,
in
it
Philly?
was unplugged. You met Rachel too.
Yes, indeed.
I was quite pregnant at that point too.
I remember this. You've separated into two.
Well, I figured the 3D print had taken long enough, so it's here.
So congrats on that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I've been good. As you indicated, I have quite a few projects going on. Queen's Quest is now it's still out there. It's going to be probably fall, but the latest thing is Dungeon Drop that's just been consuming endless hours. And it's funny because it's a small game, but holy cow, it's a complicated production. That's just the way it goes.
I've been looking at everything that you guys have been posting about that, and I'm super excited to play it. I'm gonna jump on your back to force you to play it with me at Gen Con.
Perfect.
Just physically, just so you know, just so you have a heads up. You can't sue me if it's premeditated, right?
No, that's that. I mean, you can play a game in 10 minutes, so why not? You can play it on the floor, you can play it on a counter, whatever.
Cool.
Would you play it on a goat with a boat?
I would. A boat would be interesting because that would add another dynamic. The cubes would start shifting around. That would actually be really cool.
Is this Overcooked all over again?
Overcooked the board game.
Overcooked.
Wow.
Oh man.
How have you been, CJ?
I've been good. I've been working a lot. We'll talk about what we've been doing in the last week or so here in a couple seconds. But I've been good. Done a lot since November. I haven't started a new company like you have, but hey, I've helped create new life and stuff. So there's that.
Yes. It's somewhere on the spectrum, right?
I mean, new baby, new company. I mean, about there. But we should talk about the things that we've been doing this week in
Gadgets, games, and gizmos.
I am upset that Rachel has notes because then I can't make fun of her.
You didn't even have my name in there. Don't you even? You're not allowed to yell at me when you don't have my name on there. Yeah, I know. He can't yell at me. Big foot.
So Jason, what have you been up to the last couple of weeks other than your amazing game that we will talk about in depth after the break?
All right, so miraculously, I was able to get in a really good-sized game day recently. We did it over Memorial Day weekend. Probably had 7 or 8 people at one point at the house. Played for probably 12 hours straight. So it was a lot of fun being able to actually, just sit down and play other people's games for a change and not have to be worrying about, am I going to tweak this rule? Is this the right
work? Is this rule abusive? Does this rule conflict with that rule?
Yeah, it's definitely, I heard it from other, publishers when they start getting into this world, like how hard it is to get, just other people's games to the table and just sit back and play and relax. But we still try to do, actually, I still have a standing group on Friday nights. We try to do smaller, small group games, even some legacy games. But right now, that's kind of the most that we're able to do. Had this big game day over the last weekend, though, which was great.
Nice. What all did you get to play?
So I tried out. Do you remember the Kickstarter for the game called Growl? He did this marketing stunt where he said the first 500 people that back are going to get Growl for free. And basically, what he hoped was, obviously throughout the campaign that people would eventually upgrade their pledge, their free, or $1 pledge or whatever, and upgrade to the deluxe version. I didn't know much about the game, but so I just stuck with my $1 pledge to get the free version. And I gotta tell you, I'm probably gonna go to the con, find him, and buy the deluxe version now if I can. It's a hidden loyalty game, but it plays different than most of the others. It plays fast and easy, 5 to 15 people, and it just had some really cool mechanics. It's werewolves and humans, so it's a pretty typical theme, but it played really well. He did some really interesting things with that one. So we ended up playing 6 games of that throughout the day because they're so fast.
Jeez.
It was like our filler go-to. Yeah, a lot of fun.
It's also 15 people. I mean, I have a big gaming table, but man, 15 people seems crazy to me.
That's
Yeah, I
pushing our
don't.
table to its limit.
We didn't have that many. I don't know if I would choose to play it with that many. I'm just looking at my list of what else we played though that day. We played some Wordsy from Gilhova. That's a fantastic little word game. Battle at Kemble's Cascade. It's a game I've had for a couple of years. It's been sitting on my shelf of shame. But I'm thrilled that we pulled it out. We've been playing it a few times. It's like an old 80s side-scrolling shooter, like R-Type. You know, that kind of, yeah, it has this super retro vibe to it, pixel art. And it, basically plays like you're a spaceship on the bottom row and you're shooting all the monsters and aliens coming at you. And your ship is constantly moving forward. And so the rows actually keep shifting up. And you can get scroll pushed and you can get pushed into asteroids and things. And then new stuff, flies in from the top. It's a really cool game. So we got to play that one too. And pulled out Formula D for some good old fashioned racing fun.
Nice.
Had a good day.
Yeah, it's freaking amazing.
Yeah, I think Sheriff of Nottingham was in there somewhere too.
Because of course it is.
Classic.
Yeah. I've been banned for playing Sheriff of Nottingham at a couple tables because I'm just apparently a really fucking good liar. So,
nothing will. Oh my god, my other game, Dead Man's Doubloons. The publisher
Yes.
for Dead Man's Doubloons, Gonzalo from Thundergriff. I played a game with him when I went out to Rome on our way to Essen. We stopped off in Rome and hung out with him for a few days. And I love this guy, and I freaking hate him because we play that game, and he pulled the most treacherous move on all of us that were there, and he just blew us away in this one turn. He got like 80 gold from all of us because of this. He had this elaborate story behind what he was going to offer us, and because of the way he crafted the story, it sounded so sincere. And he's just like, I'm opening everything, and we all put like 25 on top of our bet. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
Jerk. Gon, I hope you're listening. You're a jerk. He's not listening because it's 4 a.m. right now.
Yeesh.
Hey, you don't know. He might be suffering insomnia from his terrible treachery.
I feel so bad for lying to my friend. No, I don't.
Fun game. If you haven't played Sheriff of Nottingham, I mean, it's for a party game. I generally hate to use the word party game too because I don't like party games, but like that's such a fun one.
Yeah, party games, as just said in chat, are a little hit and miss, and certainly an acquired taste. A lot of people got burned on playing a lot of Cards Against Humanity, so the instant they hear party game, they think of Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
Not realizing that it's just like some people hear the word board game and only think things like Monopoly.
Yep.
Just the worst.
Stigmas.
It's just the worst. Monopoly's the worst.
But the other thing that we recently started doing again, I don't know how many of you have done it. Obviously, the big event a couple weekends ago, happened, Endgame and Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But since we watched Endgame, with the whole family now, we circled back and started from the beginning of the MCU, and we're just going to go through all of them now in order. And it's just awesome. And I love how I have a newfound respect for some of the older movies that, originally we didn't think performed as well, like Thor 1, Thor 2, Iron Man 2, and Iron Man 3. Even Captain America, I wasn't in love with originally. But because I fell in love with that character over the next, 10, 12 years of my life, it's going back and watching it from the beginning, felt really good. A newfound respect for all the movies. So yeah, it's awesome. Even the Hulk movie with Edward Norton.
Oh, Douchebag McGee.
Yeah, it was fun.
I hate him so much.
Oh, that movie.
But it wasn't as bad as I remembered it the first time. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, but I don't know. It was fine.
Is Avengers 2 still as shit as it was before?
So I was really disappointed with Avengers 2 the first time I watched it. Then maybe a year ago, I watched it again randomly. And, I said, okay, because I no longer have in my head the way Ultron should be, and I know that he's making stupid jokes or whatever, I was more okay with it. And so I would encourage you to go back and rewatch it. I don't think any of these movies are like, they're not bad movies. They're just, some of them aren't as good as the stellar MCU movies, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I will go down fighting for Thor: The Dark World. I am a huge defender of that movie. But Avengers 2 is just wretched. It could just be because Hawkeye lives through it and he shouldn't. But hey.
He was kind of like the star of Avengers 2.
Don't remind me. Oh man. So anything else you want to talk about?
What's the section called? Toys and games and what?
Gadgets, games, and gizmos.
Toys and games and what? That works.
No, you know what I've been working on. I think I have a pretty straightforward life these days.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Well, you get to choose who goes next.
Oh. Gaming Angel. Gemini Angel. Rebecca, right?
Rachel.
Rachel. Oh,
close enough.
Rebecca's my sister's name, so I'll forgive you for that. For me, I will hold that one until last because I know CJ wants to chime in with it. Yesterday was the last official day of the school year here in Florida, at least for Pinellas County where I work. So, yay!
Nice.
At the same time, because I had to go tear apart my classroom because I knew if I didn't go tear it apart after not being there for the last 8 weeks, because kind of been out with a little issue. At least the issue is cute.
Yeah.
I ended up bringing him in the stroller to school today, to my school today, so I could kind of organize my classroom, because even though I have a full-time associate, she's not going to be with me next year because she's going out into gen ed. That's another whole thing. And I'm getting the other ESE teacher who works in my units is going out into gen ed, and I'm getting his associate of the last 4 years, who I'm a little daunted by that idea because she's a special kind of special. She's a lovely woman. But
backpedal.
When I get asked, oh, where is this person? It wasn't my turn to put him in his cage. Well, where did this student go? Not my student. Don't know.
Something about circuses and monkeys.
Yeah.
Circus monkey, not mine. My monkeys fly. Sorry. No, I do. I adore her. She's been working with these kiddos for a lot of years, and she really is lovely. But she's just got to be in everything, and it makes me a little, kind of makes me itch all over and gives me hives because I like being in my little corner of the world with my little corner of crazy, and everybody else just leave me be. I can handle my crazy kiddos. I adore my crazy kiddos. I went back specifically on yesterday, actually.
That was the cutest sneeze ever.
Because I had 2 5th graders that were moving up into 6th grade. So I wanted to make sure that they saw me there. And, I went there specifically to see them and watch their moving up ceremony and, let them know that though I haven't been there the last couple of weeks because I've had the baby, they're still my boys and they know that. And one of the 2 decides to bail out halfway through the ceremony with his family, which I kind of fully expected. And he was my most challenging one, the one that really you just kind of wanted to smack the heck out of because he was just a beastie.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other one who is equally as challenging, but when he's medicated properly and he's on everything that he's supposed to be on, he is the sweetest kid. Nice. Came up to me with his parental unit and he goes, "Mrs. Boat, I've missed you. Thank you for coming." I said, "I told you I was going to be here." He goes, "I know, but you've got the baby, and I know I had a couple really rough days throughout the year. But let's say couple really rough days. That is an understatement. And I looked at him, I said, but you're still my boys. And I'm still going to be here for you, even if I'm not physically here.
Right.
And yeah, we had some rough days this year, but you still worked your butt off. And I want to be here. And he gave me the biggest hug. And he peeks over because I was wearing Grayson. And he kind of peeks over the top of it and he goes, he's really cute. You did good.
Yeah, good job.
I'm like, oh, kid. Oh, kiddo. Okay, yeah, we're going to go with that. I did a good job. I said, my 3D print worked, right? And he goes, yeah. And of course, his parental unit just kind of laughs because she knows. And he's just, I don't think, like, mentally he's maybe 7 or 8, and he's in 5th grade. But his brain is wired vastly differently from ours.
Sure.
And it's interesting to watch how his brain works. And he's just like, you did good. How do I respond to this? And I was just like, thanks, sweetie. I said, you excited for middle school? He goes, yeah. And I was talking to parental. And we were talking about the strides that he's made. And she goes, when I heard that you were on maternity leave and weren't presenting them with their certificates of, completion for 5th grade, I didn't think you'd be here. And I looked at her and I said, these guys are just as important as my kids. I said, when you consider how many hours a day, a week, for a year I spend with these kids, I said, I've known your boy for the last 3 years since he joined us. This is my 4th year at the school. I said, I've gotten to know all of them. I've taught, kindergarten 1st and 2nd. He started in 3rd. So I've known him 3rd grade, 3rd, 4th, 5th. I've known him for 3 years. Of course I'm going to show up and support him. There's a couple kids that I would be like, when I think about supporting them. But you know what? After knowing them and watching them grow, you kind of just do. So that was mine. And now I'm out for the summer. And for the first time in 6 years, I'm not doing anything this summer. Like, I don't have any work because I'm not working summer bridge. I'm not in school for myself. I'm not going to know what the hell to do with. Oh, no, I'm going to play with a house this year.
That sounds like free time almost.
I don't know what that word is. No, I have a baby now, so there is no such thing as free time.
Well, that's true.
But this is the closest thing to, no brain for a summer as I think I've had in probably actually longer than that. When did I start work or start going to school, CJ? Aaron was 6 weeks old and he's going to be 9. So 8 years I've either worked or done schoolwork.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with myself. So now that school's out for me and my college courses are done, I've gotten very well acquainted with my couch and my TV.
Mm-hmm.
I have binged Jane the Virgin from season 1 straight through. There's 2 more episodes, CJ?
I believe so.
Either 2 or 3 more episodes that aren't out yet. So I have to wait.
Poor thing.
Tonight we just watched the 4th episode of Chernobyl, which
Hearing good things about that.
Oh my God.
It's so good, but it's so dark.
I like dark. I'm probably gonna have to get into that one.
So so what she's gonna talk about next is one thing, but this dark, it's a good dark because it's based in it's reality. It's what happened.
Yeah.
So unlike what she's about to talk about, this dark is more enjoyable dark. You can actually sit and you realize all this is horrible and all this happened, but because it is based in actual reality and things that happened in the past instead of a potential very close future, it is a dark that you can actually kind of sink your teeth in and just you get captivated so quickly with it.
Mm-hmm.
I freaking love it. It's really good.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I got my mom to sit down and watch it.
But if you don't like dark things, it is never going to be for you.
I do. Good.
So, I mean, my mom has even gotten into it, and she's like blown away because she lived a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And she's just blown away with the level of detail that they've gone through. CJ, when I'm done with my last thing, I'm going to have to go. Grayson just decided to give me all of the formula he just chugged down.
Oh, boy. Okay.
And now he's smiling at me. So that's just fabulous. The other one that we've been binging, and we only have, I think, 3 episodes left of what's available until they come out with the next season, is The Handmaid's Tale.
My wife loves that one.
Holy shit.
I want to love it more, but like I was saying, it's
I can't get into it.
It's so dark, and it's so like it's a little too close to home. Like that's an issue for me.
Yeah. It's dystopian future with extreme religious overtones and undertones, and
Let's put it this way: current events have given me dreams of winding up in one of their training facilities.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. Especially considering this right here. Yeah. Basically the world has gone to bearing children does not happen for everybody. There's a very small select few that are able to have children, and they are considered
Broodmares.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they literally call themselves.
You're not allowed to pick who you have kids with. We're gonna pick it for you. You are now the handmaid to this person, and I believe it is. And Rachel said unto
Leah.
Thank you. I basically I cannot have children. Take my handmaid, and she will bear us a child. And they are just completely cut out of anything and everything to do with the child that they give birth to. And it's essentially legalized rape.
Not essentially, it is.
And just the way that they're handling everything in this, and they take away their identities. They don't even have names. They're literally of and whoever the male part of the couple that they're paired with is. So it follows the story of, her name is June, but she's of Fred. So off Fred. And just, I'm blown away. And what is her name, CJ? Serena's actress.
Yvonne Stratisky, but Yvonne Czechoslovakian last name.
AKA from, if anybody watched it years ago, Chuck. She was the love interest in Chuck. And watching her play such a drastically different character, where we haven't been able to peg if she's truly evil or if she has,
or a product of the situation,
any kind of good points to her.
Little of column A, little of column B.
Yeah, like
is my take on it.
There's a change going on with her right now where we're at in the series, but it's wild to see her playing this like stone-faced, angry woman when we're so used to her being the adorable love interest in Chuck for so many years. I mean, granted, this is 10 years ago since we watched Chuck.
Well, and there's a lot of nuance in her performance as Serena as well, where she comes off as first just the cold-hearted bitch, but then you actually get to see little glimpses and flashes of her being an actual human being.
Yep. You overloaded your tummy. I know. So, sorry, I'm getting that.
Mommy, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, Mommy, I just upchucked probably 1.5 ounces on your shirt, but I don't care.
I'm adorable. See, I love you.
Yeah, and he knows he's adorable, but he's got bubbles, and he won't give them to me, so it's his own damn fault. And the last thing that we've been watching, or that we went and saw, I should say, was the new Aladdin. And for the record, CJ, in 1992, I was right the first time. So yay, I remembered. And you hear a lot from various people going, oh, they shouldn't have done this, and Will Smith can't do that, and blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry. I loved the way Will Smith portrayed Genie.
From the reviews I've read, he's the best part about that movie.
There's a lot of good about the movie. There's also a lot of cheese, which worked well in animated, doesn't necessarily translate well to live action.
I can see that.
But Will Smith is definitely like, it is obvious that he put everything into this. And if you watch any of his interviews, like, yeah, he's so afraid of screwing this up, not because of fan feedback, really, but really because he's like, I loved the Genie. He was Robin Williams was one of my best friends. So he wants to do as good for him as possible.
Yeah.
So it is obvious that he is putting, like, because Will Smith's been a little shaky with his acting lately. He's putting his best foot forward, and the changes that they made to some of the songs, Friend Like Me is, oh my God.
Yeah. I wasn't even sure from the commercials if it was going to be a musical. Same thing with Lion King. Like, I don't know yet if, and I don't know if I'm supposed to know or not, but I half wonder, is it going to actually have the music or not? So I now know for Aladdin that it does, at least.
Yeah. It has all the songs, including some new ones. Kim from the Broadway play. Kimberly from Power Rangers. She plays Jasmine, and she is amazing. And that girl can sing. Like, they give her own song, and it's a really powerful, poignant song. And it's called Speechless, if you want to look it up. They obviously, this was their big, hey, we're going to put this video up on YouTube song.
Yeah.
It sent goose pimples all throughout my body. It is freaking amazing.
Wow. Cool. I look forward to it.
It is one of those ones that we had to go see because it was one of mine and Rachel's favorite movies, and I do not regret a single red cent I spent on it.
Nice.
So Rachel's gone, I think, for right now. So I'm gonna go on mine then, because she yelled, "You do yours." Okay, fine. So outside of the things that she's been talking about,
Yes, it is your turn. I had to go deal with baby because, well, yeah.
yes, baby puke do 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 do.
Oh, your favorite song?
Yeah, well, it worked. So other than that, I got a key to play the tech demo for Neo 2 on the PlayStation 4. And hey, guess what? Josh, Carrie, hey, guess what?
What?
You're not playing a white guy.
Oh my God. No more Willy Samurai?
I mean, you can make Willy Samurai, but you're not required to play Willy Samurai. You actually have a character creator now.
Oh, nice.
My God.
And they look really, really, really good. And so I say tech demo because it's a tech demo. There's no, like, you're basically playing the controls. You're playing the absolute full press A to jump kind of thing.
Yeah, you're playing the character creator and controls.
Yes. Yes, Rachel.
POC.
What?
Proof of concept?
What? Oh, person of color. Yeah, like your default is a Japanese person. So, yay. Good for having Japanese people in this Japanese-based Japanese game instead of the white savior.
I was referring to the black one.
Oh yeah. You can make. Well, you can make pretty much anything in it. Like, that's
black Asian.
You can make pretty much anything in it. Like
Malaysian.
I made a adorable little Japanese girl because that's what I do in these games. You give me an opportunity to play a female, I'll play a female because badass females are things that I like in video games. And the coolest, most of the game, from what you understand, from what they give you the controls, is what it was in the last game, which I loved Neo's fighting system. It was great. Except for now, you get to infuse yourself with yokai powers and become half yokai, half human. And it's fucking awesome!
Sweet. This sounds like the game I thought we were getting in the first place.
Yeah, and like you in the demo, you transform into like this into the Raikou. Basically, you fuse yourself with Raikou's powers, and you become this like whirling thunderstorm of death, and it's so fucking cool.
Wow.
And like I finished the tech demo level. I'm like, all right, let's play. Let me give you the first state. No, don't. No.
What do you mean that's it? Reload.
I did. I played it 3 times. It's really fucking good. I am super freaking stoked. And yeah, Carrie, it's exactly what I thought we were going to get with Neo 1. I enjoyed Neo 1, but it's not like... It is far from my favorite Soulsborne kind of game. But yeah, I am super freaking stoked for Neo 2 to come out this year. I get to play. I just got an email right before here about I got chosen to do the network test for the hell of that freaking game called Anime Dark Souls, freaking Code Vein. There we go. Which I'm excited for because Dark Souls games. So I blasted through Final Fantasy X, and I've started on Final Fantasy X too. And like we were talking about people hating Thor 2, but me being unapologetically loving it, I have always loved and will defend Final Fantasy X 2 till my dying death. I continue.
Your dying death?
Yes, my dying death. You heard me.
That game is dumb, but it is fun dumb.
I love it stupid.
What? How? In what way is it dumb?
It is Charlie's Angels meets anime, and in a weird Final Fantasy world. And
it also took formerly really like actual seriously written characters and kind of turned them into jokes.
Yeah, Yuna and Riku, which are the 2 returning characters from Final Fantasy X. Riku especially has been made into a really big joke. Yeah, she was the most jokey character, one of the more jokey characters of Final Fantasy X, but she loses any nuance that she has whatsoever in 10-2. Yuna is not as... She's more eccentric in 10-2 than she is in 10, but she's definitely a lot more jokey.
But it's not the Yuna from 10-1.
No, not at all.
Oh no, my quasi-imaginary boyfriend died. Time to go on a lesbian dress-up road trip.
Yes.
Yeah, by the way, everyone who ships Yuna and Riku in Final Fantasy X-2, stop it. They are first cousins.
Right?
Well, I mean, sup, Alabama?
Ship one or both of them with Pain all you want, but stop shipping them with each other.
I always shipped Riku and Pain. Like, because, again, like, my shipping falls in the lines of what they, what fills the... that was going to be a very horrible thing I was going to say. What completes the circle?
Fills the hole?
Yes, that's what I was going to say, but I'm glad you said it and not me.
You know I'll go there for you, CJ.
I appreciate it, brother.
But yeah, they have very complementary personalities.
Yes, and I love that together, and they are great together. And I freaking still love that game. Job class games for Final Fantasy, and even like any opportunity I have for job class games are going to be.
That's what I was going to ask. So, I haven't played any of the newer ones. I played 7. I played a little bit of 8, and then that was it. Now, I come from a different era. I am Final Fantasy 1 through 6 devout. I love most of them for several, different reasons. I love 1 because you can customize your party any way you want. I love trying to go through with 4, monks and nothing else, and just seeing if you can do it.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 5 or 2, I guess, depending on which nation you're in. That's the one with the job system, right? That was the best. And so I'm thrilled to hear that one of the newer ones came back to that. That sounds like something I'd enjoy.
Yeah,
I hated 7. I hated when they went to the 3D.
Thank you!
It was a linear storyline. Good night.
Really weak characters.
It was and I didn't like the forced linear gameplay. I didn't feel like I could explore on my own terms, and I didn't like the scripted characters that I couldn't develop in my own way. That's what I
13,
like
by
about
the way, is a hallway. Like Final Fantasy 13 is literally a hallway.
It's a very pretty hallway,
Yeah,
but it's a hallway.
It's fucking gorgeous, but yeah, it is a literal hallway. Like
Which is funny because people complain about that with 13, but playing through 10 did the fucking same
yeah,
thing.
10 is very much so.
And
linear as
nobody
well.
complains about 10 doing it, but they complain nonstop about 13 doing it.
That's because 10's also a good game.
Well, 10 also halfway through lets you go back to wherever you want on the hallway and do other things.
Well, you get that in 13 as well. You get that,
but not nearly to the same extent.
No, yeah, 13 you do, and it's much later in the game. Like you are 90% through the game. Like you can complete the game the moment that you get full Explorer on 13.
But yeah, as far as 10.2 is concerned, take the job class system, and then you're allowed to switch between jobs in combat.
In mid-battle, by the way.
In combat,
mid-battle?
Yeah.
yes,
So,
using magical girl transformation
yes.
sequences.
If you get into a battle and you realize that, hey, you're fighting 3 elementals, you're not fucked if you have 3 Dark Knights on your team.
Yeah.
Quickly,
Yeah.
hey, I have my gun mage, I have my wizard, and I have my cleric, just because that. And they all look awesome and do, like Carrie said, magical girl transformations going through them.
And there's actually fun mechanics that require you, if you want to use that mechanic, to switch during combat, because you've got these grid layouts you can put your jobs on, and some of them have little thingies that when you cross over them, it flips a switch and unlocks an ability.
Mm.
And Krikus in chat said 3.6 is the best, literally my favorite game of all time.
Like, where is the HD super remake of 6?
Right? No,
It's
we're getting
such a better game.
We're getting 7 because
let me watch Saban suplex a fucking train in 1080p. That is all I want out of life. That or a Legend of Dragoon remake.
oh my god, dude.
Oh, yes.
Don't even tease me. Every time I think of that, like, the thing is with Legend of Dragoon, it's hard to get even the original. Like, yes, we have it. I know, but
So do we.
it's hard to get it nowadays. Like, and if you can, it's still super expensive. Like, it's super dumb, and it didn't come on the PlayStation Classic because we got like 2 good games on that.
It's on PSN for PS4.
Yeah, that's true.
Just wait until the PS5 comes out and you can just stick your disc in.
I'm excited for that. So also, finally, after 2.5 years, got to play Origins, the superhero card game.
What do you think?
I loved it.
Good.
They did some of the improvements. When the designers came over to my house, we chilled out and hung out and played a few games, and I broke the game in front of them accidentally.
Wait, you live in Florida. He lived in Connecticut and then moved to California.
There's one
When
dude,
was he-
Alex lives in
Oh, Alex. Okay,
Yeah,
Evan is the one I knew.
yeah, Alex lives in Florida. He drove 2.5 hours to get to my house.
I've got it sitting upstairs. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I'm stoked.
It's a lot of
really
fun.
happy, really proud that they pushed through all of their very significant complexities that they had to deal with. So
yeah, they got the short end of the stick on everything.
yeah.
And
But they did it. They persevered, and now Evan is launching an expansion for it. I think.
Yep, I am very excited. He's been telling me all about it. I've got some things that I'm never mind. I'm just gonna shut up about things.
Yeah.
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things. I'm excited for the future of that because I loved that game. It was so freaking amazing when they came over and played it. And looking at the way that I broke the game before, I'm glad that is not a thing anymore because he's sitting there playing with him and he's like, playing it. He's, how are you just constantly? And Rachel's favorite, Rachel knows me playing card games. I'm a Tim, so I just sit and do control the entire time. And when turns are supposed to be quick and I take 10 minutes on a turn, it says something. It's the reason why I'm not allowed to play. Rachel's banned me from...
Fuck you, Smash Up.
Yeah, Smash Up. Rachel's banned me for playing Smash Up.
I have played once.
Smash Up is a good game, but it does suffer from a little bit of AP, and more so, I just think it suffers when you get over 3 people. I think.
Oh yeah.
I think it's not. I don't know. It slows down too much. I think it's a really solid game. We don't get it to the table enough because I keep fighting. Anytime we have 4 people and someone brings up Smash Up, I'm like, I don't want to play it with 4 people. I just don't. It's too slow. That just hyper turn-based nature, and you're not really engaged when it's not your turn. It is tough, and then AP can just make it worse.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is there's no like I want games where you interact with people throughout the entire thing. It's the reason why Sentinels of the Multiverse is one of my favorite games of all time.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Because if you have a table, you don't want to just sit around just like, all right, I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing for 5 minutes while my turn comes back around. Because that
is an absolutely terrible feeling. Having to wait ages for your turn to come up and actually do something.
Yeah, so like it's I can Smash Up is okay with 4 people in my opinion, but yeah, anything other than that, like it's there's no way. And if you pick any asshole like me who picks the wizards and the time, if you want a broken combination to piss your friends off,
Wizard, Wizard slowed everything down.
Yeah, Wizard and Time Travelers, both of them together. Oh no. That is a way to win every game you play, but absolutely make everybody hate you. And played a little bit of Atelier Lelua for the Switch. It is very pretty and very good. I really like it. It's super good, and I can't wait to get it for the PS4, because then it's not just going to be a demo on my Switch.
So on Switch, have you played the remake of Blaster Master, which is my all-time favorite game?
What? Wait, what?
Do you know the original game, Blaster Master?
Yes.
It's like my trophy. I actually have the original in its box for the Nintendo sitting right here in my room. So they remade it, and they really, from what I can tell, it really was the original game, just made with some additional abilities and powers and so on. But it was a remake of the original, still 2-dimensional platformer, just with upgraded graphics and everything.
Hang on.
So I really want to play it. I don't have a Switch.
Hey Josh,
he's downloading it right now.
I'm gonna look at this. Josh, you go.
So, not too much in terms of games and gadgets and whatnot this week. We did get to go hang out with the Carols on Memorial Day, did some grilling, and we played a very small smidgen of Yoshi's Crafted World, which is absolutely adorable Switch game.
Josh immediately went to the giant robot level, like the one giant robot level in the entire game. He went to and 100%ed.
Beeline.
I'm sorry. If you give me a level that lets you play as a giant robot and your only objective is to punch things for points, yes. But once we got tired of Yoshi, we decided to play a card game called Fun Employed.
Yes.
Oh, that sounds cool.
It's kind of in a similar vein to Cards Against Humanity.
No, it no longer sounds cool.
The format of the game is there's 2 different decks. There's the black cards and the green cards. The green cards are occupations. The black cards are your qualifications. And so whoever is we'll use the Cards Against Humanity term, the cards are for the turn. They are interviewing each other player for the job that they drew, and it is the player's job to make the qualifications they drew as appealing as possible to the interviewer. And then the interviewer gets to throw one wild card at them to try and improvise out of.
Yeah, like, how do you explain your car trunk full of bees? Like, it's a bunch of really random shit.
And that's the thing, is all of the qualifications are ridiculous. Like, you'll have jetpack.
Lumbersexual was my personal favorite.
Lumbersexual.
Nice.
Jetpack, hoverboard, a sweet cape, trench coat, just, really random crazy shit like that. And then it'll be like, job for an architect, job for a psychic, job for a world record holder. And just, you just go around the table applying for this job, and whoever makes the most attractive pitch gets the card, and that's how it's scored, and so on and so forth. But it's fun because it requires a layer of thought beyond like Cards Against Humanity and its ilk, because you actually have to take these completely abstract concepts and find a way to spin them into something appealing.
Which I think was, I mean, Cards Against Humanity is nothing more than a clone of Apples to Apples, right? Like that's the original.
Apples to Apples for adults.
And yeah, but I think Apples to Apples, to its credit, and I don't like games like this at all, but at least, you know, what you just said, right? You were looking for clever pairings. In Cards Against Humanity, you're just looking to get the card that says Big Black Dick or something like that on it because that's the one that's going to win because it's hysterical or whatever.
Exactly.
You know, I feel it's not a good game design.
So the most fun I ever had playing Cards Against Humanity was actually when we had to make the deck safe for work, because we were camping out in a tent for a midnight book release for Brandon Sanderson, which, if you don't know, all of his book releases are held at the BYU bookstore because he teaches there.
Okay.
So we're on Brigham Young University property playing Cards Against Humanity. It's really not appropriate, especially us being representatives of his fan site, to be playing the Big Black Dick card and screaming loudly about it. So we had to take all of the super offensive cards out. And
There
then
was
you
probably
actually...
an easier way to do that. You could have just brought Apples to Apples.
Yeah, but we already had all the Cards Against Humanity cards.
Okay.
Like, and this was somebody else's deck who actually lived in the area, so they could, like, they had every card that had been printed at the time, so they just brought that and we just pulled out the naughty ones. But yeah, then you actually had to think about the cards that you were playing.
I mean, if you want a game that's simple like that for large groups of people, that's fun in a party atmosphere, to me, Say Anything is the game. That is leap years, light years beyond Cards Against Humanity or Apples, any of those. Because those limit your creativity because you just have a hand of 6 cards and those are the words you can choose from, right? So you're not actually using your brain. You're just like, which card seems best? Say Anything, if you want to check it out, I do highly recommend it. It's a very fun game. You'll draw a card when it's your turn and it'll have like 5 questions and you choose one of them. And it would a question might be, in my opinion, what is the best movie to watch while drunk? I don't know, I'm making it up, but something like that. And then everyone has a little whiteboard and they write down what they think I would choose as the best answer. So they're writing down an answer. And then I see them all. I vote secretly for which one I'm choosing using a little dial. And then everyone else has these little tokens and they vote for which answer they think I'm choosing. And so you get points based on who's right, who's wrong.
So it's kind of like the honeymoon game or whatever it used to be called.
The Newlywed Game.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, the Newlywed. Yeah.
The Newlywed Game for groups, yeah.
The key thing is that you can use your creativity. It's limitless because now you're just letting people use their brains and write down whatever they think might be a really cool answer for it. I think
it's more like a writing prompt instead of a Mad Lib.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, Fun Employed was a lot of fun because it got absolutely ridiculous. Like my buddy Justin, the one interview he had to give, 2 of the cards he drew were Spirit and Macho Man Randy Savage.
And this was for the funeral director job.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So he was the spirit of Macho Man Randy Savage possessing this fool.
I in a single hand I drew 3-piece suit, balls, decoder ring, and Magnum. So world's best detective, even though it was for a psychic job, I still won the interview.
There was a version of that game. It had to do with, it was like, I don't know what it's called, but it was like a blind date, and you were trying to match up your traits of the person that you chose to go on a blind date with who you would, who you are. Or
oh,
jeez. Something like that. It was the same thing. You're matching up 2 cards, but yeah, it was neat. I play those things once and I'm done.
I'm completely biased towards the game because I helped design it. But Action News from Justin Robert Young and the guy who did The Contender is a fantastic party game, and it's really, really fun. It's all about you are a newscaster, and you are trying to create the most ridiculous newscast available, and it is a ton of freaking fun. Like I said, I'm biased though, so disclosure on that one.
How does it play? Does it play like these other ones, or
Yeah,
or totally
it plays a little. It's very Cards Against Humanity ish. Like it's along those lines of you have 2 decks of cards and you put them together to line up a semi-coherent thought.
I think my favorite interview of the night, though, was Erica holding up her infant daughter as a prop.
Like you do.
I just stole this baby from someone.
But yeah, outside of that, earlier in the weekend we had a magical adventure to the land of IKEA.
Yes, Raul had never been.
Swedish meatballs.
Swedish meatballs.
There's literally no reason to go to IKEA if you're not getting Swedish meatballs.
Correct.
I mean, you're going to spend all day there anyways because it's so fucking huge. At least they have the common decency to offer food.
Right.
I almost made the group loop back around for dinner. We spent so long there.
Jesus.
But yeah, we picked up some new shelving.
Yeah. Again, Raul had never been, so we couldn't just go get the things we needed and leave. We had to have him experience IKEA.
True.
Okay.
So we covered every fucking square inch of that place.
You gotta work
And
out
learned
this
a lot
range.
of new words.
But did you summon a demon?
No, because I can pronounce most of the names.
Oh, well, that makes it less fun.
It makes me feel smart, though.
I did, however, see at least 2 completely separate people just pass the fuck out on the beds.
Yes, because they let you sleep on the beds. They encourage it. How do you know if you're gonna like the bed if you don't sleep on it?
Yeah, but these people were like completely not even just testing the bed. They were
No, and that's fine. You
testing
could
the
sleep.
bed.
You could sleep up to 4 hours on them.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, if you are shopping for a bed, they encourage you to sleep for at least an hour on them.
Wow.
If you go up to a sales associate telling them that, hey, I'm shopping for a bed, they will bring you to the bed section, say, hey, you may want to look at these ones. Have a sleep on them. We recommend at least an hour. If you would like, I can come wake you up in an hour. You can't.
And then other people are walking around and pushing on the cushion while you're laying on it.
I mean, yeah, but that's just people.
But most of the ones I saw were off in like the little demo room areas, so they were kind of cordoned off.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of funny. It's like, what's going on? That someone's catching a snooze.
Yeah, it's
It was tempting. We almost fell asleep on that one couch.
That was a nice couch.
IKEA's couch
But
is
yeah,
surprisingly...
that's about the extent of the week. Mostly been working otherwise, but
God damn it!
lots of walking at IKEA. Swedish meatballs.
I keep forgetting
And
that.
yeah, building a shelf today.
I keep forgetting that in Blaster Master you can't fall more than like 3 feet without dying in your human.
Are you playing it right now?
What? No.
Never. He wouldn't do
Yes,
that.
he is. Don't lie.
I'm playing the demo. Thankfully, they have a demo because I am beyond broke.
So, Carrie.
I'm sick. That's fun. Staying home, sleeping all day. It's great. But no, IKEA adventures were really fun. We'd been needing to go for like a year, and the thing is the last time we went to IKEA, we fit Josh's desk. So this monstrosity right here, which is fucking gigantic, we fit his chair, our entertainment center for the TV, including a glass top, and the 2 Ned B bookshelves inside his Kia Forte.
Wow.
It was an interesting trip home.
Yeah.
Tetris 99 got nothing on this.
Yeah, and so we needed to go back, but it's like, okay, well, we can't do this again because we need the Nedbys, and that was what was jutting out the back of the car the whole damn trip home because they're so tall. And so it's like, okay, well, we're just gonna have to suck it up and rent the Home Depot truck, and it'll cost us a bunch of money, but there's no other way to do this because having the freaking things delivered costs $100. $100 to have a Nedby bookshelf delivered. No, thank you. But then Raul moved here. And Raul has a truck.
Yeah, you do.
So that made it a whole lot easier and a whole lot more fun because we got to spend the day with our friend and show him the magical land of IKEA and buy a sleeve of Swedish cookies that I ate the entire thing in a single sitting. Um, they were really good. Okay.
I mean, I'm not judging you. I understand.
CJ.
Mhm.
Speaking of random things in cars, Grayson's dresser with 2 kids.
Yeah, that was great. We got Grayson's dresser from IKEA and did a pretty similar thing, but we had like Kia and AJ like ducking down, like contorting themselves in the back seats of our car.
Because the back seats were down.
Yep.
So we put the stupid dresser in because it was one of the as-is ones that they've already got pre-made, but it was half off.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a whole lot more pleasant with Raul there to hang out and also help us, and it was good times. Also did a thing this week which I am really proud of. I got back into martial arts.
Yay!
I got all the way up to almost 2nd degree black belt before dropping out almost 10 years ago now. Not intentionally, just health concerns, mental health concerns keeping me out of it. But I finally made my way back into the dojang and remembered almost everything.
Oh.
And
So
all my
did
old class.
They start you out at the same level. I guess it just might take you a little longer to get the next belt if you're rusty.
Right. So in my art, which is Choi Kwang Do, once you have earned a rank, that does not go away. I mean, I guess unless you do something bad enough to actually get kicked out of the association, but that's like completely different. But like if you just fall off the path for a while, whatever, like they don't make you start at white belt again because you've already put in that hard work and you've earned the rank that you have.
Yeah.
It's just that, like you said, it will probably be a little bit of time before I can test for my next rank because I have to relearn everything that I did forget and get myself back into shape. But the nice thing is that because Choi Kwang Do's primary purpose is the health of its practitioners, I don't have to worry about my neck injury holding me back because they will just accommodate my needs. Oh, you can't do this? Okay, we'll do this other thing instead. End of story. Go figure. A martial art that cares about the people practicing it.
I did a keto for a while.
Okay.
I liked it because it was, it's the completely non-offensive martial art.
Yeah, very
Completely defensive and gentle. I like gentle. But...
and it's really good for you because it's all circular movement. You're not doing any of the hyper extending, which Choi Kwang Do doesn't have either, which is it's good for you. But yeah,
I did a keto for a couple years and I got really into it. Then that dojo shut down and then another one opened up in town and I said, oh, okay, I'll go there. And they advertised a keto on the sign on the front. But when I got in there, I learned, so he had this like fusion. He called it like Aiku Jujitsu, like he had this word for it. It was like Aikido, Jiu-Jitsu, and Judo all combined. And he was kind of blending it and making his own custom program. I said, all right, I'll try it out.
Worst on the joints.
I got in there, and the first day, they chucked me onto the ground, and I felt like, oh my God, I hurt so much. I said, this is not for me.
I have become error.
Jiu-Jitsu is absolutely brutal.
Well, the jiu-jitsu to me wasn't the problem because it really just seemed like the same moves as Aikido. It's just they're saying if this was a real fight, you go a little bit further and break their bones. but there was still a lot of the same rolls and the same types of kind of defensive maneuvers. But judo was like chucking people around the room.
Mm-hmm.
That was to me the harder part. But anyway.
Yeah, they had there were a couple instructors in Choi who are no longer with the art who were trying to mix in jujitsu like manipulation and stuff with it, and I do not have the body type to do grappling martial arts. Like that's why I picked a striking art. But yeah, it's funny because I was out of it for 10 years and I had my belt tied backwards, which was embarrassing. But my instructors and my classmates remembered me. I remembered everything. And it all just there were a couple of techniques that I had a little trouble getting my body to actually do, but I still remembered the technique of how to do it.
That's good.
And it was neat. Just, it instantly just felt like I was at home. And I still could do my signature twist kick. I'm so excited.
So I did go back. I mean, when I was talking about that was like 20 years ago. Then I went back in this past year. I started working in a new location, and they had a real Aikido dojo nearby. And so I went down for a couple times, and I just found that in my older age, just doing the rolls alone, I was getting so like motion sick and nauseous. Just I'm not used to doing somersaults anymore. And having that level of my balance thrown off. So yeah, I think I'm done with that at this point.
Yeah, Tai Chi might be good because it still has a lot of very circular, very flowing motions, but a lot of it like is performed for like if you're performing just for health, it's all done standing and in the air.
That's
so,
okay.
So you're not just like throwing people, and instead you're learning water bending technically.
I want to bend water. What level are you on, CJ?
I'm still doing level 1. Get on my level. Cool. Anything else?
Work is fun. Solar panels are still cool when they work.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's going good. Trying to get the rest of the IKEA stuff built so we can get all this freaking cardboard out of our house.
So much cardboard.
Yeah, every time we go to IKEA, I just want to like buy all of the IKEA stuff and just completely decorate with IKEA furniture.
Yeah, it's a real problem. All right, so since we are at 11:30, we are going to bypass the song break. We are going to, however, for podcast listeners, you're going to have a little break right here and listen to our ads. Support our sponsors. We love them. See you soon. And we are back. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you want an ad-free experience, make sure you tune in live Thursdays 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific over at twitch.tv/Geek IO Show. Or if you can't tune in live, and I understand, we record late, as Jason reminds me every time he's on the show. You can go over to patreon.com/Geek IO, and as low as $1 a month, you get ad-free master feed for all of our shows, even some earlier than anybody else. All right, Jason, it is that time for us to speak about your game after I play this right here. Nope, not that one. That one.
People assume the time industry runs over, I'm the best there is at what I do. And what I do isn't very nice. Timey-wimey stuff.
Oh, geek out!
Yes, indeed. It is time for us to talk about Jason's cool things. Hey, not Scott. So, I've been watching a bunch of stuff about your Dungeon Drop thing. So tell us a bit about Dungeon Drop and Phase Shift Games and what you got coming up here and what's going on and stuff.
Sure. Yeah, so... well, you mentioned Queen's Quest earlier, right? So yes. Geek Fever Games is the other company. That's a design firm. We have 4 of us now on that team. And Queen's Quest was designed under the Geek Fever brand. But 2 of us from the Geek Fever team really wanted to try our hand at publishing, kind of get into the real world of publishing, go beyond just design. And so the other 2 guys had no interest whatsoever. They ran screaming. They said, nope, we only want to design. So that's fine. So Darren and I started Phase Shift, and believe it or not, that's actually now a year and a half ago almost, because it was beginning of last year.
Jesus, seriously?
This stuff takes time, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we ran a contest in 2018 on the Game Crafter. We had a bunch of really cool submissions there, and we entertained actually signing some publishing deals with a couple of them. We signed Queen's Quest. So even though I designed it under the Geek Fever brand, we basically signed it and we'll pay the royalties cross company, but Phase Shift will publish it and bring it to market. So we spent a lot of time focused on that. And then sometime in 2018, there was a Game Crafter contest that they called the Components Only Challenge. I think it was that, the Components Challenge. Basically, they said, I don't know if you're familiar with the Game Crafter contests, they basically always have some kind of restriction or constraint, and that creates a really cool dynamic for the designers. Well, this one was you had to make a game that had no printed components whatsoever, no cards, I mean, you could have a PDF of rules, but like no tokens, nothing that was printed, only their components. So cubes and meeples and dice and pawns and all those types of things.
Oh my.
So there were, I don't know how many submissions there were for this one, but there were a lot. And it was funny, talking to I'm pretty involved with that community. The community, as they were reviewing the submissions, because there's a community round of voting before the actual judges get in and vote. And the community, they were going like berserk. They're like, if I have to watch one more video where there's just a pile of components all over the place, it's going to go nuts. But what rose to the surface very quickly was this game called Dungeon Drop by Scott R. Smith. Scott, there's the guy you keep talking about.
Yeah.
And he ended up winning the contest. And literally, I don't know, a day later, I reached out to him. Darren and I looked at it and instantly knew this one has something special. That constraint actually forced this guy, who, by the way, had never even designed something before, which I think is a plus here, right? You have someone who had no baggage of previous notions and game design ideas or whatever. He just came into it cold saying, oh, that sounds interesting. And he's like, I have this cool idea. And I'll explain that idea in a second. But basically, we reached out and said, we want your game to be the premier game that we launch through Phase Shift. So we signed him, and we've been working now. So I guess it's just under a year, maybe, that we've been working on this. We've been co-developing Queen's Quest alongside us. So really, both games have been happening simultaneously. But Dungeon Drop is the first one we're launching, and could not be more excited about the production, how it's, where it's come to, the quality of the gameplay, the quality of the actual components that we're working with this manufacturer in China on. It's just gonna knock it out of the park. And then the deluxe edition on top of it, we're gonna have little cubes with little goblin eyes on it, and so it's just gonna be out of this park. It's gonna be amazing. So that's the gist of it. That's Dungeon Drop. So here's a little image of our logo, and this box is one of the cool things that just kind of speaks to the uniqueness of the game. This is a cubicle box. It's 3.5 inches, 3.5 inches, 3.5 inches. Has all these cool little characters, these like chibi style artwork. Everything's really cute and fun and accessible. There's some examples of our artwork. Here's our wood elf character.
Aww.
And yeah, the artwork is just super fun and bubbly. I guess chibi is the right word. It's all chibi artwork. Anyway, so
we found Josh's favorite card.
Now it's interesting because I just showed you cards, right? But this came from a components only challenge. When we started talking to Scott, we noodled on a few different ways that this game could come to market. Would it stay as just components only, being basically a bunch of cubes, wooden cubes, or are there other things we could do? Now, he had dice that kind of represented a character, and you would roll it, and if you got a 1, then you had 1 hit point. You were really, really weak, but you would go first. And if you got a 6, you had a lot of hit points, but you would go last. And that was basically just a built-in little balancing mechanism. But the notion of there being a character was there. And we said, okay, well, now we're out of the Game Crafter contest. Do we want to do more? Do we want to do characters with initiative and health, and maybe even start, coming up with a unique ability on the bottom of characters? And then we went a step further. So those are races, but then we also have classes, rogue, and there's an ability on the bottom there, and cleric, and
golem
adept,
rogue,
and
sneakiest clanky clink.
So, and then what's really cool is look, we made it so that the artwork kind of all connects in nicely, and
that's so awesome.
Yeah, when you put it together on a table, it's really cool. So we decided to go this route and add a little bit more depth to it, but keeping that core of what made it special. And what makes it special is it's in the very name, Dungeon Drop. You have a pile of cubes. They're in a Ziploc bag here, but basically there's a whole bunch of wooden cubes and acrylic cubes and some dice that are the same size as the cubes. And there's some see-through, there's some opaque, there's some shiny gold cubes, all these different colors, shapes, sizes, whatever. And you basically pick them all up. Well, some, there's starting cubes and then there's later cubes, but you pick up a bunch and you put them in your hand, you shake them, and you drop them on the table. And what you've just done is you have procedurally generated a dungeon on the table. The cubes spread out all over the place, and the different color cubes mean different things. And so, for example...
Rachel's going to hate this game, by the way.
Little player aid. No, I don't believe. I think everyone loves it.
It's chaos. It's the chaos that she's going to hate.
But it's fun. I mean, it's
I know it is. I am so freaking excited to play this game. The moment that I just throw cubes on the table, Rachel's just gonna stare at me until I clean them up.
Because what's cool, you know what? If you're old school like I am, you enjoyed old school roguelike games, right? Roguelike games in the old days, before graphics, right? You had a character represented by an @ sign.
Yep.
And you had a dungeon, and the steps that you travel on through the dungeon were periods. And then walls were pound signs, the hashtag, right? And so we're used to, in the old days, we were used to like suspending disbelief, imagining what this world looks like. And I think this is like, I don't read a lot of books, but people talk about, the benefit of books over movies is you can imagine a world that's so much richer than what the movie can actually portray, from a book, going from a book to a movie. I think the same is true when we talk about just dropping a bunch of cubes on the table that represent goblins and gold and treasure chests and trolls and ogres and dragons and keys and all these different things, because all those cubes, mean different things. And you can almost just picture this really cool dungeon environment in a way that you wouldn't be able to if it was all miniatures, where that's the character and you can't really imagine it being anything else.
Also, I can't wait to design a D&D dungeon with those.
I was honestly thinking exactly that recently. I was like, do you have a set of quote unquote minis or characters or whatever that really are just glorified painted cubes, and suspend disbelief a little bit and just really go abstract? In any case, this game, it plays fast. Basically, on your turn, you get to use one of your abilities on that race or class card. You actually have more cubes inside the box that you explore. So every turn, you're going to draw 3 cubes from the box, or 4, depending on the number of players, and you're going to drop them in the dungeon. So you're basically always changing the dungeon, adding more stuff, and cubes get bumped around and shift around and stuff. So you use an ability, you explore, actually in the inverse order, and then you loot a room. And the way that happens is you choose 3 pillars in the dungeon, anywhere on the table. So pillars are gray cubes. And so you make a triangle of 3 gray cubes. As long as there's no other pillars inside it, what you can do is take all the cubes that are inside it and add it to your stash. But the problem is some of those cubes are going to be monsters that take away your health, and you have to kind of balance all that kinds of stuff. But it's so cool to just kind of get down, you're looking, you're seeing things from different angles, and is that in the room? Oh, that one's in there. If I get that room, that's really cool. Use an ability, and you're flicking cubes around and dropping more cubes. Really, really unique experience.
I'm so freaking excited to play this game.
Yeah. It's what's really exciting for me. I've had through the different companies, we've had a lot of games that we've pitched, a lot of games that we've kind of self-published over the years. I've got 17 reviewers with copies of these in their hands, and every single one, basically the reviews are coming back 5 out of 5 stars. It's just so obvious. And what I love is people saying like, oh, I can't believe this hasn't been done before. Actually, one of my favorite quotes is Emerson Micelli, who made Century Spice Road and Reef. He played this at TotalCon this past February. It was kind of like a design feedback session with Emerson, which was fantastic. Played it. He sat back and he said, "You guys have thought of everything." He said, "This is one of those I wish I thought of that games." And that's man. Like, such an amazing thing to hear from someone like that. And the reviews are kind of matching that. So, yeah, I hope we're going to make a good splash. technically we're a first-time creator through Phase Shift on Kickstarter, and that has its hurdles. So we really need those day one backers, but we've been doing a lot of marketing, and the reviews are all stellar. So I hope that that's the right recipe.
So you mentioned day one backers. What's that all about? He says, hinting broadly.
So yeah, if you're referring to, we have a promo going on right now because those day one backers are so important to, especially to first time creators, but even established creators. That first day of a Kickstarter is so crucial because it sets the tone for the rest of the Kickstarter. You know if a campaign will succeed or fail usually within the first 6 hours of the day or less.
Yep.
That's just the way it is. It may be unfortunate that that's the reality, but that is the reality. So what we decided to do to help encourage getting those day one backers is we're trying to build our email list right now. We've been building it for weeks, and encouraging people to sign up for our email list right on our website. And if you do, and then you back the campaign on day one, we will send you a special promo pack. That's it's a limited promo pack, so it's not available to any of the Kickstarter backers unless they were on our email list before we launched the campaign. So that's the key. Get on our email list now before June 4th, and then back the game, which is a $16 price tag, so it's a really accessible price. And we will send you a promo pack. This promo pack has a special quest, but more importantly has a metal dragon cube. So the big red cube, there's only one of them in the game, is the dragon. And what we did was we created a 3D mold of a molded dragon that actually has contour, and it's a full three-dimensional construct, but it's still roughly cube-like to match the kind of style of the game. And you can use it in the game. It looks amazing. You can make out the feet. It's got the tail and the wings and the scales and everything. Really, really sexy looking. You can see a 3D representation of it on phaseshiftgames.com.
The sexiest of cubes.
Yeah, so that's what we figured would be a good incentive to get people onto our email list. And why do we care about the email list? Because we're going to email you the morning we launch and encourage you to please back us on that first day. It's all about that first day. That's why we're doing it. We want the emails so that we can remind people when we launch, and we hope that we'll get a lot of people that will jump on and do that for us on day one and make the campaign a success.
I am definitely hoping that I'm above and beyond the fact that, I like you and I want you to succeed. I really enjoy unique games like this. Everybody enjoys the classics and things like that, but it's something to be said when you get more unique games coming out, and those can be the next classics. I mean, nobody would have thought of Root as a classic before it was, because the thought of somebody playing a cave or a dungeon as a player, nobody thought of that. Nobody cared until they did. With this kind of thing coming up, nobody thinks about just randomly throwing cubes on a table and it creating an actual functional entity until they do. So I wanted to get you on here, one, because like I said, I'm excited about your stuff, and it's been a while since we've talked on the show here. But two, I wanted to get you on before the Kickstarter launched and hang out with you and talk to you about this, because the entire thought process of this game, and now knowing the story behind it, because I didn't even know the story behind it, and that makes me even more excited for this game, and sincerely hoping that it is a massive success. And I mean, and really at such an affordable price, there's not a lot of reason not to.
We have the the retail will probably be a little higher, probably pump it up to $19.95, but for the Kickstarter, we want to make it as low as possible. Again, we want the adoption. We need as many people as possible, and the way we do that is we push and we scrimp and cut. We're not making a lot of money from the Kickstarter. We hope to make a good amount of money from it in retail. But the way that happens is a successful Kickstarter. And the way that happens is day one. It really all circles back to that same core premise.
Speaking of retail,
16, and then we'll have a deluxe version. Deluxe
version.
For 22. and that will have so the goblin cubes are these little green cubes. We're gonna have faces on one side of those green cubes, so they look like really adorable little goblins peering out from one of the sides. The trolls will have printed on one side, and the dragon will have printed on one side. So that's yet another upgraded dragon, but the promo dragon is the really cool one. That's the one that's metal and fully molded on all 6 sides. But in any case, we'll have that, and then we'll also have custom meeples for each of the races. You saw some of them, like Hawkman, Wood Elf, and so on. And some of these are stretch goal races too. But when you unlock all the races, in the deluxe version, there's going to be a custom meeple that's cut out to match each of these characters, heat printed, full color on both sides. So this is a wooden meeple,
Wow,
heat printed, not a sticker. This is like, lacquered into the wood.
Nice.
And it is it's going to be a stunning look on the table.
Low quality meeples are the worst. No, and something beyond anything else that I could say, and I could say a lot of great things about your games. Your attention to detail for every one of the games that you make is just astounding. So the fact that you're able to put, and you're proud of the amount of detail that you're able to put into the simple cubes is amazing, and I'm so super stoked to that this is even a thing.
Yeah, we definitely, I like to give a strong nod to Gonzalo at Thundergriff. He picked up our first game, Dead Man's Doubloons, and we saw him in action, and that was his 3rd game, and now he's on to his, 12th. And every single game that he puts out through Thundergriff, the production quality is off the charts. And I think, every publisher, you have to kind of choose, right? Are you going for, volume of sales, and you got to really, keep the components to a minimum, and don't upgrade those cardboard tokens to meeples unless you absolutely have to. That's one way you can go, right? You just try to get the most economical, low cost thing that's possible. Other companies focus on that customer service and just being this really cool, friendly company, will do anything for you, bend over backwards. And other companies focus on the quality, and not to say you ignore the other 2 aspects, but it's just kind of marketing 101. You have kind of three things. You can be the Microsoft, the Dell, or the Apple, and they're all very different, right?
Yes.
So same thing here, and definitely Thundergriff pushes that quality through the roof, and that's something that we take away a lot and take to heart, and we're going to stand for that as Phase Shift.
That is awesome. And yeah, you can also, said season, I got to bring it up. You can try and win one of 5 free copies of Dungeon Drop as well.
Yep, we have that going on as well. Same page on our website. Yep. Go to phaseshiftgames.com, click into Dungeon Drop, and that Dungeon Drop page will have the promo email sign up, and then scroll down a little further, and there's a contest giveaway for, you can get one of 5 free copies right there. That closes on June 3rd as well. So basically do all these things by June 3rd.
Where else?
Where else?
Or else you get nothing. You get a Kickstarter.
And then back us on June 4th. Please.
Oh, man.
By the way, even for people who are like, yeah, I'm just not sure if, I'm not into games or whatever. Even that $1 pledge, it's not about the money sometimes. It's about the quantity of people that show support.
Yep.
That has a psychological effect on the masses.
Oh,
it is
100%.
so powerful. So even that $1 pledge is super important to us.
100%. There's some actual science behind the fact that even if there's nobody participating, if you have 4 people standing around, the likelihood of extra attention being drawn to it raises significantly for each person beyond the 4th person or something like that.
Yeah.
So I am super excited, and I will be definitely one of those day one backers. You don't have an issue there. Even though I will be jumping on your back come the first week of August.
I'll be there.
Indianapolis.
Hopefully we'll have a pre-production copy at that point, so we'll actually get to see. I mean, this is Game Crafter right here, which is really good, but we'll have closer copy to the final.
Awesome. All right. So, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. Why don't you tell the folks at home, Jason, so we didn't say this enough, where they can find you and the stuff that you work on?
Yeah, best way is to go to phaseshiftgames.com. And obviously, you'll see a big call to action to get into Dungeon Drop. Go to that page and punch in that email. That is the best way. We have a Facebook page. We have a Facebook group for Dungeon Drop. You can get involved with the community, socialize with us. Those things are all readily available. Twitter, we're Phase Shift Games everywhere. It's the same handle on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc. So please check us out. But most importantly, if you want that free promo cube and special card, the quest card, then get on that email.
Absolutely. And so thank you again for coming on. Really appreciate it. We need to not
Thank
have
you.
it be so long until the next one. It'll probably be after you successfully launch this and begin the quest for Queen's Quest, because I still
Excellent. Yes.
still live by this fact that I am beyond freaking excited for that game.
It's awesome.
And I haven't even played it.
Can't wait to get to that one too.
I haven't even played it, and I need to play it. So you can listen to us live Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, Fridays at 12 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time over twitch.tv/Geek IO Show. If you want to email the show, you can do that at show@geek-io.net. All of our social media /Geek IO Show. If you want to give us a call and leave us a voicemail, 727-489-4335. That is 727-489-GEEK. Remember that we too have a Discord. You can join the fun and festivities even when we're not on the air, most times day or night, at geek-io.net/Discord. And you can, if you want to support this stream and everything that we do in the Geek IO network, head over to patreon.com/geekio. If you join those two things together, you get access to some pretty cool rooms that only patrons have access to. And like I said, you do get an ad-free master feed as well by going over to our Patreon for as low as $1 a month. Hey, Carrie.
Hey, CJ.
What's going on next week?
Next week, the games keep rolling in when we have Leah Schlanger from Fiero Initiative, who we met at PlayCon.
Yeah.
I am super excited for this one.
Me too. She and I are working out a time so we can meet up and actually stream the game as well, and I'm really stoked to do that. All right. And now it is time for everybody's favorite segment of anger.
The summer movie SmackDown update.
Hey, I played the right one this time. So, we are about midway into this, and the numbers are getting pretty big. Got A Dog's Journey and John Wick 3 ending their run this week.
One of those did much better than the other.
Oh, yes. One of those has me very scared. Entering the second week, we have Brightburn and Aladdin. We're going to go see Brightburn this weekend. I am stupidly excited to see that because I want to see Angry Evil Superman. Opening up this week, we have Ma for Budlong, Rocket Man for Carrie, and Godzilla King of Monsters for Monica. Apparently, Godzilla is ridiculously good.
I want to see it.
Like I just loaded up Facebook to take a look at the Phase Shift Game stuff, and like I had 6 messages in a row. Go see Godzilla. Godzilla's really good, and it's not even my movie.
One of the early critiques I saw about the movie was that the movie dedicated more screen time to the monsters fighting than the human interactions. So where's the critique?
Yeah, what's wrong with
How is this a bad thing?
Like that is one of the things that I could shame Pacific Rim and certainly Pacific Rim 2 for. Like, not enough giant things punching other giant things. Like, I don't go.
Like, I'm sorry. If you're going to a Godzilla movie to see the rich cast of human characters and their deep story, you are going to a Godzilla movie for the wrong reasons.
For the wrongest of reasons. I need to get back, and apparently even the 2014, the original one that this is a continuation of, the Godzilla movie from 2014, was apparently really good too. So,
yeah, I knew it came out, but there wasn't as much hype around it, I guess.
No, because I think a lot of people, myself included, I thought it was a continuation of the Matthew Broderick one.
And, so I guess, we got to see that one though before we see the new one.
Yeah, like,
and it's a different cast, right? It doesn't have the whatever name is from Stranger Things, right? Only the new one does.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think, like, the only one that matters in association with this one is 2014. So that one and this one, this is a sequel to that one. But apparently, like I said, just from only seeing on Facebook for people that I actually trust about movies, you don't need to see the first one because one of my friends didn't even know the first one was a thing until they mentioned
Got
it once in the show or in the movie. Like, kind of looking at the screen, winking at the last movie. So cool. I always love Godzilla movies. Giant things punching giant things. Get on that level, Pacific Rim, because I like your designs for things. So we have our rankings or ratings. I am still in first place with Avengers still holding on, making me hold on with $20.1 or $20.2 million. Bud Long is in second place. John Wick exploding onto the scene with $17.6 million. Raul is in third place with $11 million. Josh is in fourth place with $8.1 million. Monica's in fifth place with $5.1 million. And Carrie is doing the golf rules for $5.1 million.
Again.
Yeah, Rocket Man may get you some stuff. There's a huge buzz going behind that one, mainly because of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's rated R, so you're gonna lose some money on that one. But it should give you some. It should give you some boost on that. I got Toy Story here coming, and if that doesn't make any money, then I'm done. All right, hey Josh.
CJ.
What has been up this week?
What's been up with you? I mean, this week on the Geek IO Media Network, on the Anime Otaku Show, we're back again for the last episode of the summer, talking about that One Punch Man, the delicious, delicious Demon Slayer, and kind of snackish Fruits Basket.
I love Fruits Basket so much.
CJ took a moment to talk a bit about some Isekai Quartet stuff, and dodged a bullet with the Sword Art Online Alice in Wonderlandization.
Yeah, and they don't even try to hide it. They don't even try to hide it.
I didn't even think that was the thing. I was just making a joke based off the name that I.
100%. Like they don't even try to hide it.
I love when I serendipity into shit like that. It's so funny.
But like I said on the show, SAO Alicization has improved the rest of the series for me because of how good it is. So, and
Hey, as long as you're enjoying it, that's the part that counts.
Isekai Quartet is the dumbest, stupidest, cutest thing in the world. I love it.
And speaking of things that count, on Exploding Dice, we continued with the most important and greatest love of all of our lives: breakfast.
Yes.
So much breakfast in this campaign, you guys.
Gotta have my toast.
There's so much breakfast that I fucking went out and bought a fucking toaster.
Our waffle maker also has a label on it now that says, "Hi, my name is Kevin."
Nice. I mean, we spend 4 to 7 hours a month talking about freaking breakfast on these damn things.
And I don't think many of us even eat breakfast in real life unless it's breakfast for dinner.
Yeah, like I wake up so early that I never get the opportunity to really eat breakfast. Like,
this is a thing I want now.
It spreads.
D&D meets breakfast.
Like butter on top of pancakes. Delicious, delicious pancakes. Yeah. Things just don't seem to be in timely. Oh, hey, look up in the skies. It's a bird. Oh, wait, no, wrong show. Nothing to see here.
No, there's nothing going on.
And on ye old GG, CJ, for some reason, continuing to pound his head and his hands into a bloody pulp on his quest for platinum in Bloodborne.
I love the game. I love it so much. It frustrates me to no end, but I love it so much.
I wish I knew how to quit you, Bloodborne.
The cool thing with Bloodborne is I have never been invaded in Bloodborne. Like, even when I'm participating with other people, like, never once been invaded anytime. And that makes me happy, unlike Dark Souls, which go screw off with that bullshit. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this week on the Geek IO Show, except for the fact that we got some show title candidates. And now is the time that Carrie embarrasses herself by reading them.
Alrighty, let me see. We have got here. I want waveforms, Schrodinger, toys, games, and what's Rye Cow, Leap Years Beyond. You're doing water bending. I want to bend water. Cube, meeples, and dice. Oh my. Cubicle box, really fun chaos. Roughly cube-like, the sexiest of cubes, and Deluxia.
Deluxa. It's the new Amazon voice assistant. All right, ladies and gentlemen. While we are figuring that out, and if you are live in the chat, you can click in the link that I put in there to vote as well. For everybody here, Jason, again, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. This was fun.
For everybody else, we will see you back here next time. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Hey guys.
Button.
You have been listening to a Geek IO Media Network LLC production. Would you like to convert that to pounds? Copyright 2019.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Got a three-way tie of Schrodinger, Raikou, and roughly cube-like.
Roughly cube-like is fun.
Roughly cube-like, Rachel, was the last one. One of them was Josh making fun of how I said the lightning demon.
That was me, actually.
Terry making fun of how I said the lightning demon. Raikou? I don't know.
Raikou.
Raikou. I think roughly cube-like because that's appropriate for what we were talking about.
Yeah.
In this episode.
Yeah. So what were those things you were reading at the end?
Show title candidates. That's what we're gonna call the show.
Oh, got it.
That's what we're gonna.
And were they suggested by watchers?
No, it's mostly stupid things that we said during the show.
Oh, okay.
I mean, so watchers can suggest them. It's just a lot of times they don't realize they can.
Okay.
Yeah, because I gotta improve my bot game, and I keep forgetting to improve my bot game, where it's you can type in exclamation point add title space what you want to add to the title. Anybody can do that, and it'll go into our little bot that I linked in the Twitch chat, and that will give us an opportunity to anybody at all can vote on those. And that is what we will call the show.
So yeah, I heard her reading all these things, and I'm saying to myself, whatever list she's reading, they sound really cool, like Dungeon Drop.
Roughly cube-like.
So how does, I don't know Twitch stuff. So it aired live. You had some amount of watchers. Do you get a lot of is it like a podcast where people will watch it a lot afterwards, download it, listen to it?
Our live, because of how late we record, is never, and we're still live, and I don't care about talking a little shop. Live, we have lower visibility because of how late we record, and I know that as a thing, but I have children, and I can't really record any earlier than this. But our podcast and stuff that we get on the on the other end, when we put the video up on YouTube, we put podcasts everywhere, and those get a lot bigger numbers than we get live.
Cool.
Now, when I do earlier in the day stuff, we get a usually pretty good following or pretty good live listenership. We got actually 2 new follows. 1, 2, 3 new follows on Mixer, so that's a thing. Thanks, guys, on Mixer. Appreciate it. Yeah, so that's how that works and stuff. It's late. I've been up since 5.
Cool.
All right, I am gonna go ahead and end the stream now. Bye, people.
Bye.
Well, thank you all. This was fun.
No, thank you. I know it's I know you complain to me every time that we're late, and I appreciate you staying up and hanging out.
No, it's no problem. No problem at all.
All right.
Cool.
Indeed. I'm going to go get some sleep. Everybody else should do the same.
That's the plan. All right. Good night, guys. Thanks so much, CJ.
Good night.
Take care.
Thank you.
Nice meeting
Night.
you.
Good luck.
Take care, guys.